Hey everybody, welcome back to another video on the GD Network YouTube channel, and in today's video, it's going to be our final video talking about Backlash. It's my full Backlash pay-per-view review. So, it was a pretty decent show, I'd say. Not the best, but let's get into it. The first match was LA Knight versus Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu for the WWE United States Championship. Now, this match was pretty solid at the start. It started out with LA Knight taking a lot of offense to the rest of the superstars in that match. LA Knight and Priest teamed up during the match to deliver some moves to McIntyre and Fatu. Later on in that match, Jacob Fatu was winning, and then he got taken out by one of the superstars. And Solo Sikoa came with a debuting Jeff Cobb. Now, I want to give my opinion on this. I do not see why Jeff Cobb is being added into the Bloodline storyline. He is not related to the Bloodline, similarly to how Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa aren't. I feel like this is obviously going to lead to Bloodline Civil War Part 2 with Team Solo versus Team Jacob. As you could see, Jacob's disapproval of Jeff Cobb being added in to the Bloodline. So Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre also brawled on the outside. I'll show the clip here. With Damian Priest and McIntyre going through table with the South of Heaven. Now, it's been reported that Drew McIntyre has suffered some sort of injury after his head landed on the floor rather than the table. So hopefully Drew McIntyre isn't out for too long, and hopefully it gets cleared very quickly, as it did look quite bad when he landed his head first onto the floor. And Damian Priest seems to be fine after this spot. And Jacob Fatu picked up the victory, obviously, after the help from Jeff Cobb and Solo Sikoa. So I'll give that match probably about a 5 out of 10. There was some good spots. Obviously, that was the only debut of the night. A lot of people were expecting some other things to happen, but that was the only debut that took place on Backlash. But yeah, Solo Sikoa and Jeff Cobb helping Jacob Fatu to win. Jacob Fatu disapproval, and Solo Sikoa bringing in some new members. I think we could see potentially the debuts of Hikuleo and Lance Anoa'i, and then Solo Sikoa's bloodline would be Hikuleo, Jeff Cobb, Lance Anoa'i, taking on Jacob Fatu's bloodline, which would be Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Zilla Fatu, if they want to debut him at some point. The next match we had was Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. I'm just going to keep this brief for a rubbish match. Like, Becky Lynch is not a good wrestler, neither is Lyra Valkyria. This is my opinion, entitled to your own opinion. And then they kept showing Lyra Valkyria's ugly ass nerd boyfriend in the crowd, like nobody gives a shit. Everybody online's ripping him, which is fucking correct, because he's some fucking, he looks like some bloody nerd that you find in like wanking in the corner of anime or something like that, like that kind of person. But yeah, Lyra Valkyria retained the title. Nothing much to write home about. Becky Lynch suffering a loss. Obviously, she's on the downwind of her career, so don't expect her to be winning a lot of matches recently, because I think she's trying to like close up the chapter of WWE in her life. She could move into acting or something like that, but Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria, disappointing match, and Lyra Valkyria won. Then Gunther versus Pat McAfee. Now, everyone was expecting something big to happen here, which we were let down with no return of Goldberg, no return of Brock Lesnar. I think everybody put it in their mind that one of these guys were going to return to confront Gunther after he beat Pat McAfee, but there was nothing to do with that. Michael Cole did get involved in the match a little bit. Pat McAfee showed to Gunther that he could go with him in the ring, and I think that earned Gunther's respect. But there was no big return, which a lot of people expected. I was disappointed as well when I found out there was no Goldberg return or Brock Lesnar return. So it was a bit of a lackluster match in terms of that. But otherwise, I don't know what Gunther does from here. I don't see him getting a rematch for the World Heavyweight title anytime soon. I could see him thrusted into the IC title picture again, Or if they want to do something different, move him over to SmackDown and put him on the SmackDown roster so he could start having some feuds with the likes of LA Knight, Jacob Fatu, or even put him in the world title picture against Cena. But I don't think he deserves that right now. I think after coming off such a big loss at WrestleMania, he needs to be down in the upper middle card level. Obviously, winning against Pat McAfee doesn't mean anything. Like, it doesn't gain him any more credibility. He hasn't got enough credibility, I'd say, to go after another world title. But yeah, Gunther defeating Pat McAfee at Backlash. Dominic Mysterio versus Penta. A lot of interferences going on in this match. I don't think you gave these guys enough time to show their in-ring ability between each other, because you had the Judgment Day and then you had El Grande Americano come out, obviously leading to the feud between Penta and El Grande Americano, which they were doing before WrestleMania with Penta and Chad Gable. Then they just decided to do this El Grande Americano storyline, feuding him with Rey Fenix and Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee, but then they just decided to change that and go with something else. So El Grande Americano costing Penta this match. What do I see this happening? I see either a 6-man tag between Brutus Creed and Julius Creed and El Grande Americano, Chad Gable, taking on Penta, Rey Fenix and Dragon Lee in some sort of 6-man match. Potentially our worlds collide where they're doing all this triple A thing. They could have some triple A guys, even switch out Dragon Lee for Vikingo, something like that. Those kind of guys. But yeah, Dominic Mysterio did retain his Intercontinental Championship. What do I see him doing next? I hope he gets into some sort of feud with a Ludwig Kaiser. I think Ludwig Kaiser deserves some sort of mid-card title run. Or Sheamus versus Dominic could be good. Sheamus needs to win this IC title to become a Grand Slam champion, so I could see that happening. Now we're going to talk about the main event match, John Cena versus Randy Orton. So a lot of repeated spots of RKO, AA counters. It was your typical John Cena versus Randy Orton match. I don't think we haven't seen that in a while. So, but how many times have these guys faced? It's just a John Cena versus Randy Orton normal match. Pretty lackluster in the ring. Obviously some funny spots with Orton grabbing a Prime bottle and drinking it and not liking the taste. But then Orton and Cena with the table spot. And in the end, R-Truth came out and helped John Cena win by distracting Randy Orton. Orton hit R-Truth with the RKO. Then John Cena was able to hit Randy Orton with a low blow and the championship belt on his head. So John Cena did pick up the victory. And then in the post-match press conference, John Cena told R-Truth not to say another word or step out of line, and then decided to put R-Truth through the table. Now what do I see happening next? I don't know if we're going to get R-Truth versus John Cena at Saturday night's main event. I know that's been speculated. It's a bit of a waste of a John Cena match, I'd say, especially on the last year of his career. But we'll have to see what happens next. But I think John Cena will have a lengthy title run, either ending around SummerSlam or around the last time he appears. But I think Cena's title reign will continue from here. I don't know what Orton will do next. I think Orton may get his rematch at Saturday night's main event with R-Truth as the referee. That's what I think. But you never know what happens next. So those were my thoughts and opinions and review of WWE Backlash. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys thought about the pay-per-view and give it a score out of 10. I'll be giving Backlash a 5 out of 10 in my opinion on the rating scale. And if you are new to my channel, I post a lot of WWE content and WWE figure content and some sort of in real life stuff, YouTube shorts, anything you can think of related to pro wrestling and WWE. If you guys want to subscribe to my channel, please do, as we're on the road to 100,000 subscribers, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Slam packs the wrestling figure accessory mystery box.
Each box will contain 2 accessories, 2 trading cards and either a championship or shirt. So pick up one today and support the channel with your very own Slam pack. All new Slam pack bags includes 3 accessories, 2 trading cards and a sticker too for £10. Lots of fun to be had. Get yours today. Yeet. Check out Medway Wrestling Figures for great prices on all wrestling figures and accessories, and use the code GD10 to save 10%. Like and subscribe for more content.
Make sure to check out figtees.co.uk and go down and use the code GSD to save 20% on your orders. They have a lot of new shirts out. They're doing a whole rebrand and everything. So if you want to save yourself 20%, use the code GSD.